Wow. Welcome to the Scoop World Order Rose Bowl beatdown edition. The revenge is sweet. The new Big Ten champions are the Ohio State Buckeyes. They just took the strap from Oregon. We told you it was going to happen. Nevadabuck especially said his blowout. I thought we'd win comfortably. I thought our defense was excellent. Minus like 26 yards today for the rushing attack. So how's that? How's that for defense? So Jim Knowles, bravo, outstanding. Will Howard, Jeremiah Smith, not much left to say. Excited for these guys, and now we get to see Quinn Ewers and the Texas Longhorns. The storybook marches on. I was talking about it. I said, hey, could this be the best team of all time? Well, we just won a home playoff game. We beat the Oregon Ducks, who are the Big Ten, the number one seed, knocked them out. We're going to play Texas and Dallas. We're going to play Georgia and Georgia. So, hey, it's going to be a wild one. But, hey, we appreciate you guys. I would like to say real quick, condolences to the folks that were affected in New Orleans with the terrorist attack. Obviously, our first responders are on the scene. That is why we always make sure to acknowledge and thank them. Again, horrific. Obviously, a lot of us are looking forward to this game tonight. It's been moved to tomorrow, the Sugar Bowl. But thoughts and prayers. Again, it was a horrific scene. But I just wanted to say thank you again to our first responders for all that you guys do. Police officers, paramedics, obviously our military folks. Thank you guys. Happy New Year to you. And if you're a Buckeye fan, what a great way to get this new year rolling in the right direction. If you guys enjoy our content, please leave us a like, click subscribe. Also click that little alert bell. Again, I appreciate you guys and all that you guys do. Again, what a year, an incredible year, and what an amazing start to 2025. So I'm going to get right into it with Nostradamus, Buck, Nevada. You said blowout. We had a blowout. Anything surprise you about today?
Well, if you remember, I said before the thing, I said Oregon's defense isn't very good, and I said that. I went on record with that. Obviously, it was proven out by the game. Will Howard was magnificent. You know, I've been a Will Howard homer the whole year. It has some people go, "Oh, Will, why are you defending Will Howard? Why are you?" And I'm like, because he's really good. He's a really good. Why do you defend Jim Knowles, Nevada? Because he's really good. So, was it fun to see Trey Henderson and Jim Knowles and Will Howard ball out today? Yeah, it was fun. Ohio State's the best team in the country. They've been the best team in the country. They showed it today. Total vindication in a game that wasn't close. It was 42-21 or whatever the final score was, but it wasn't even that close. Ohio State obviously took their foot off the gas, let Oregon back in to keep it a little bit closer than it should have been, but just an absolutely dominating performance in every aspect. Jaden Fielding kicked 2 field goals today. You may say, "Oh, who cares? 2 field goals," but they were big field goals at big times, and he was confident and put them through the upright, and just so happy for this team. And I'm the last guy I got to just mention is Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer's pretty freaking good. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a guy that's taken as much abuse as that guy has, and we don't have dominant defensive ends, and he's just a different kind of defensive end, and he's terrific. I mean, he's such a terrific player. Going to make $300 million in the NFL, and it couldn't happen to a better kid. But wow, what a performance by the Buckeyes. Now they get Texas. Could have gotten Arizona State because, frankly, Texas lucked out to beat Arizona State today. But we'll take Texas next. We're the best team in the country. We're playing with so much confidence right now. We'll play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And I love our chances. So just really excited about the result.
I mean, negative rushing yardage in modern college football is insane. 6 sacks again. You know,
Eight sacks.
Oh, eight sacks. So they had 2 rounds. Sorry, I was glancing as I was getting the thing get the show ready to go. But I mean, I don't know what else you can say. Again, I said in the middle of the season that that this would give us an edge, and we played like we had a significant edge. And Will Howard, this drove Will Howard, to astronomical heights, which is where he's at now. This is why we said it should be the Heisman. We said, "Oh, why isn't he in the Heisman discussion?" Like, well, did you see what he just did? I don't know. I mean, Travis Hunter looked great. I mean, I know that everyone falls for Deion's magic, but I'm like, dude, Will Howard's he's the straw that stirs the drink on this team. Jeremiah Smith is the best receiver in school history already. He is unguardable, terrifying. They were very creative with how they got it. No sacks allowed by the O-line. And we heard all about Birch and 55 and Mateo and the whole crew, and no sacks allowed. And again, that's a big credit to the O-line. It's a big credit to Chip Kelly, Justin Fry, who was basically beaten to death multiple times throughout the season. Everybody wanted Justin Fry fired too, and it's like, I don't know, guys, pretty good, pretty damn good. I don't know who I'm picking over us. I mean, we've been picking us every game, and we've been right outside of the Michigan disaster, which again, that doesn't matter anymore. And again, I know that everyone, there's that crowd that's like, well, hey, we lose I don't care. We're going to win the national championship. This is going to be the best Ohio State team of all time when this is all said and done. Like, this is how this is trending. I mean, you see the depth. I mean, we've never had two running backs this good. I mean, Trey was outstanding, and then Quinshawn was right there with him. Ran all over him, won the rushing battle, took care of the football, punished them on defense, wore them out on defense. Didn't give up many big strikes. They had to throw, so they're going to get some cheap yardage. I think Lathan is the Rose Bowl MVP. He's up on the stage, but Lathan Ransom was outstanding. I don't know. When you've got Lathan and you've got Caleb back there, and Jordan Hancock was physical as the day is long. Tyleek, oh my God, Tyleek is so good. And I talk about Tyleek all the time, but it's like I watch him on film, and our fan base just has no idea how good that guy is. And he'll play 15 years in the league easy, as long as he's healthy. But I'm just happy for this team. I'm happy for Ryan. I'm happy for the fan base. I wish that some of the people that jumped off the bandwagon could have stayed off the bandwagon, because now everyone's going to be on it, loaded up. But yeah, this is a physical football team, and we're going to see a really good team that they were close. And again, it's funny and I've been hard on Jaden Felding, so congratulations to him making those kicks. And again, like you said, Nevada football, especially in the pressure cooker of these playoff games. I mean, Texas's guy, he was cooked. I mean, he doinked one off the post with 2 seconds to go and missed like one or two others. And he's the highest scoring kicker in the history of Texas. So he's more than Justin Tucker, more than Cameron Dicker. I mean, those are two well-paid kickers in the NFL. Justin Tucker's a first ballot Hall of Famer. And he shrank. So our kid was good today. But God, is Will Howard good. I mean, again, there's people that are critical of Will Howard, and there's been people that have been critical of Trey, but he's just so good. And he does everything. He's smooth. A couple bad snaps, he handled them, still got the ball to where it needed to go. Doesn't take sacks. I don't know. I'm so happy for the guys. I'm happy for the team. Proud of Ohio State. And again, these guys, they could have folded the tent. And again, it's a long process when you lose that Michigan game, and then they got to turn it up and get ready to go against Tennessee. And again, we talked about it a lot, but us playing Tennessee was huge because we didn't have the rust. I mean, Oregon, and again, I'm not acting like Oregon could have beat us if they played last week, but it's like they were off. I mean, you could tell we weren't. We were all systems go, firing on all cylinders. So I think that home playoff game with that energy and that catapult that it gave us into this game was a huge help. I don't think that getting that first round bye, again, as great as to get healthy, like I'd rather play and get that thing rolling. Nevada, what other thoughts you got, man? Because this was a good one. This is sweet. I mean, you knock off the Big Ten champions, Oregon, so you're kind of the de facto Big Ten champions. But what are your thoughts as of now? Because again, we've got the Texas Longhorns, who they were about an inch away from being out of this thing, and we'd have been playing Cam Scadaboo, but he's gone now. But we're going to see our boy Quinn, and we're going to see Steve Sarkisian. And what are your thoughts early on Texas?
Well, it's going to be a formidable challenge for Ohio State, but hey, how many people expected us to be here after post-Michigan game? I think the answer is not very many. And I just never stopped believing in this team. I never stopped believing in this group. I knew how good it was, and I do want to point out that Ryan Day did defeat big game Dan Lanning. This is the guy that the fan base all wanted. Like if they had a dream after the Michigan game, and we took it, okay, we can get Dan Lanning right now, but you got to fire Ryan Day. Like, how many people would have done that? And Ryan Day
everybody
yeah,
would have.
and he just depantsed Dan Lanning. I mean, he literally just humiliated Dan Lanning on national television. Dan Lanning got beat twice. Dan Lanning has won one big game in his entire life, 1 point at home against Ohio State, in a game they were very fortunate to win. And people say whatever they want, but they saw today what happened on a neutral field, so they were very fortunate to have won the first time around. So Ryan Day is 45 years old. He's learning. He's only getting better. And Chip Kelly was kind of in his bag. I mean, I know they got a little conservative there at the end when they were running out the clock and stuff. But how good was Chip Kelly today? Chip the fraud Kelly. Chip the game has passed him by Kelly. He can't call offense in the modern era Kelly. He was so good from the first play of the game. They were ready. They were aggressive. They were putting the ball in good spots. They were feeding JJ. It just, like I said, it was just what a virtuoso performance for a team that a lot of people counted out. But we never did. I never stopped believing in this group because I knew that if they put it together and they started rolling, and with Ryan is not a dumb person, and he called a dumb game. Even smart people can call a dumb game. He called a dumb game against Michigan. It happens, and he paid for it and he learned. And we've talked a lot about, man, in situations, sometimes you lose, sometimes you get tapped out, whatever it is, but you learn from it and you go on. He's clearly learned from it. He's clearly being much more aggressive. I mean, would I like Ohio State to even be more aggressive? Do I like it when Jim Knowles rushes three? No. But then he made that adjustment there at the end where he was rushing three and then forcing with the spy there after the thing. And they're forcing. I mean, Cody Simon was so good. Cody Simon had 11 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles. He could have had 3 interceptions. Caleb could have had multiple interceptions. I mean, Dylan Gabriel's lucky to not have thrown 6 or 7 interceptions today. The number of times balls were deflected in the air and fluttered down to the ground. So he was lucky to get out of there with his life. And it just, what a dominating performance. And I guess I got to ask the people that were counting out, where does this season now rank? I mean, I understand that they got other games to play, but we've now beaten Tennessee, and then we just went and humiliated Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Does that take out some of the sting of losing to that stupid Michigan team? And to me, like, I don't even remember that game anymore. I don't. It's like it all it served was a jumping off point to this playoff run, and this has been one of the more satisfying experiences that I've ever had watching Ohio State football. To watch them crush 10. I mean, look at who we've played this year, Kirk. We played the number 1 team in the country. I mean, how many top 5 matchups does this make for us now? 4 top 5 matchups, and what, we're 3-1 in top 5 matchups. So can we please stop with we don't play good against good opponents. We don't, we're not good in the top 5. Our defense doesn't play. I mean, just stop with all that stuff. And we just had 8 sacks. I know we gave up 21 points, but it's a little misleading. Ryan won another big game, and he's only getting better. So, man, as an Ohio State fan, just give him a break. Because invariably, yes, the defense will make a mistake, or the offense will make a mistake, or Ryan Day will lose a game at some point in the future. But give him a break. He's a good young coach, a very young coach. He's 45 years old. And the only thing that's going to drive him out of here is the weight of expectations, the weight of unrealistic expectations at Ohio State. When he can go to the NFL and get paid $20 million a year and lose 7 games and be treated as a conquering hero. So, hey, we're very, very lucky to have him. We're very, very lucky to be able to enjoy this team for one more game, 11 days from now. So as an Ohio State fan, I'd be really happy because these are definitely good times, and stuff like this doesn't come along very often.
Well, yeah, and with Ryan, the thing I always go back to, because people are like, well, who? Because again, I had a guy 2 nights ago. We gotta get rid of today. Gone. Gotta get rid of him. I'm like, well, can we talk in like 3 weeks and see how? If we get blown out by Texas or by Georgia, then it'll be right back to where we were. But it's like, I was like you. I really felt good coming into this game because I was just like, guys, did you watch these guys play Penn State in the Big Ten? I know they won the Big Ten title and I know they're undefeated, but like I said over and over again, it's not always great to be undefeated and to have everybody, loving you and not whipping you to death and beating you to death the way that our fan bases beat our guys to death. Like that's not all good. And again, they had today. Oregon had their Florida game. Everything went wrong. Guys got hurt. So again, that's the thing about football, man, is that if you have a motivated team, a hyper motivated team like Ohio State, and you've got Oregon who's undefeated. They were undefeated until a few hours ago. And they're just, living with the adulation and the love and the campus and Christmas, and you guys are going to win the Natty and all this. And something funny shows up when you play a team a second time. And again, Ohio State wasn't the same team. Neither was Oregon. And, they made a big deal about Burke, but we shut him down. I thought our line played well. I thought our scheme was excellent, and JJ's terrifying. Like the fact that JJ wasn't in the finals for the Blitnikoff is the dumbest thing ever. The fact that he didn't win Freshman of the Year, again, because at some point we have to promote this kid because he could be the best player in school history. He's that good, and all he cares about is football. That's it. He doesn't go out. He doesn't party. He doesn't do anything. He plays. He's football 24 hours a day. He's like a cyborg, and he plays like one too. So I'm just, like I said, I'm so happy for these guys because after that Michigan game, it was dark. After that Oregon loss, I said, you guys can watch the post game. I don't think this will be a bad thing to have a loss. And I don't have two losses. I'm not an advocate of losing, but it takes all of the weight of, oh, we're undefeated. Oh, we're the greatest team of all time. Like all that dies when you lose a game, because then they're not going to compare you to the 2001 Hurricanes and the 2000 whatever USC Trojans. And that all dies as soon as you lose one. So these guys, wow. Just thrilled. I'm just happy. Like I said, I'm happy for Will Howard, Jack Sawyer. And again, there's people that are dumb that call me out for saying how much I like Will Howard and how good of a leader I think he is. And I'm like, guys, do you not see how these guys follow this kid? Do you not see how he's unflappable? I mean, he doesn't get nervous about anything. Calm, runs the show, does a great job. And again, I think that his chemistry with Chip Kelly has grown since that loss. And then our defense, we went from 0 sacks in the first game to 8 in this game, negative rushing yards in this game. So I've said it a million times, but it's like, I don't know what people want out of this defense, because there's going to be somehow somebody will complain about this effort tonight. But this was one of the biggest beatdowns in the history of the school, because this wasn't even like the Alabama game where we won that Sugar Bowl. Like that was obviously an amazing game, but that game was close up till the end. This thing was never close, and this was the number 1 team in the country, and we just beat the brakes off of them. We beat them like they're the new guy in prison. And again, I love it. I'm just so happy. This will be a great plane ride home for these guys. But yeah, and now we get to see Texas. Nevada, any thoughts? We'll start getting into some super chats.
Well, yeah, I mean, up 34-0 on Oregon, up 34-0 on Oregon. Unlike that Alabama game where we were actually trailing in an Alabama game, that game almost got up. And we were like minus 900, or Alabama was minus 900. I mean, like that game was over. So this one was never close from beginning to end, and it's just so funny to me see guys and coaches that so many people have just counted out. That just, I mean, it's one thing to have a different opinion about stuff, but like at some point people just have to understand that they're just wrong. I mean, you've read some of that. We'll get emails all the time, Kirk, and you read them in our thing, and it'd be people, why are you guys talking about Will Howard? He sucks. He's average at best. And I'm like, I say to you all the time, I'm like, Kirk, I feel like I'm in bizarro world. I feel like I'm in a bizarro world where people are watching a completely different game than I am, and I have to check myself. I'm like, is there something I'm just not understanding? And you're like, no, Nevada, just some people are just dumb. And today, just what do you have? 200 yards passing in the first quarter or whatever it was. I mean, yeah. He's so good. I mean, he's so freaking good. For people to blame him for the first one because like we needed to kick the 46-yard field goal at the end of the first game or something like that. It didn't matter. We lost by 1 point. It didn't matter. I loved playing them again after we lost them the first time. I loved that. And this isn't revisionist history, because Nevadabuck told you guys last night, I said, we're going to win and it's not going to be close. I told you guys that. And what happened? We won and it wasn't close. And the other thing I said was their defense isn't very good. It's not structurally sound. And so, and if you had any question about that, when they let JJ go for that last touchdown that he scored, where it's like, do you think somebody's going to cover JJ Smith at some point in time? Yeah, it's not a well. Dan Lanning's a defensive coach, and that's where he made his bones as a defensive coordinator. And we just humiliated those guys today. So no, just unbelievable effort, and I'm on clouds. I'm in Finland right now. It's 3:52 in the morning, and I could stay up all day and all night because I'm so excited. I can't stop smiling.
I'm just, like I said, I'm so happy for these guys. I'm so happy for the team. Like it's just, and again, now they get to go play Texas and they get to go play them in Dallas. So again, this could be the greatest team and now we get to go play the Texas Longhorns in Dallas, Texas. So they ain't making it easy on us. And then we're going to see the Georgia Bulldogs in the national championship game in Atlanta, of course, because where else will we can't ever play them anywhere remotely neutral. So we run this thing, man. This is going to be the greatest team. I think it's the greatest team of all time. With the amount of players we've lost, how we haven't missed a hitch, losing 2 All-American offensive linemen, how our defense has just gotten they're just absurdly good right now. Our secondary, our safeties are so good. It's just insane. So here for it. All right, get the super chats fired up. We will get cranking on these because there are a bunch of them, and we appreciate you guys. Hey, Glow, thanks for the deuce. Thanks for an ultra as well. We knew it, brother. Buckeye revenge is so sweet. Yeah, I mean, I said that the team that lost that first game would have an edge, especially the way we lost. We lost by 1 at their place, ran out of time essentially. And our guys didn't waste no time this time. And again, we went up and down the field on them last game, and our defense has been playing lights out. So, I mean, our defense is better than it was. And we're battle tested and hardened because we've played so many good teams this year. So, I don't know. I'm loving the upside of this team, and it's gonna be fantastic. David Panteric, what is up, brother? Happy New Year to you and Janet. Hope you guys are having a good time. Thanks for the 20, and thank you for being an ultra member as well. Wow, you guys have it right. I never doubted you, even though I haven't yet. Are we having fun yet? Yeah, I mean, I'm having a blast right now, just because we've got such a. This is just such an amazing night for us, and we got 10 days to get ready for Texas now. We get to see them next Friday, so it's gonna be awesome. I'm just really excited about it. Nevada, David Panteric, he says you guys had it right. I'll never doubt you again. Are we having fun yet? Your thoughts?
Yeah, no. First of all, David, you're a great guy, great partner, and appreciate it. But man, I knew we were going to win this game, and I bet real money that we were going to win this game. I bet a lot of real money that we were going to win this game. So this was a very profitable. But I thought this was so easy, and it was so predictable that Ohio State was, because man, Oregon was. I'm not saying they were an imposter, but they're not on our level. They're not as good as Ohio State, and so for all those kids going out there and, oh, Uncle Phil's gonna make me a shoe, and I'm gonna go here, and Oregon's the hot team. Well, hey, dude, we put you back in your place. The real Big Ten title. We are the Big Ten champions, and everybody else is just a pretender, and everybody knows it. And we're the big dog, and it's a great night. Great time to be a Buckeye.
Benny, thanks for the deuce. Where was Jelani Thurman? Is he transferring? Curious. I did not see Jelani. Nevada, if my eyes deceived me, I don't think he played unless I missed him. We played a lot of tight ends. Did you see Jelani?
I didn't, and that has to be something that there had to be an injury or a sickness or something like that, because they were scheming him up. Ryan Day was talking him up big time in the bowl run up, and I don't know, but hey, I'll have to go back and check, because I wasn't watching that closely for him specifically, but I don't remember him being out there. But I mean, sometimes stuff happens right before a game. Hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully we see him in 11 days or 10 days, whatever it is, at the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, I did not see him, so hopefully I missed him and my eyes deceived me. But I don't know. We had our 3 tight ends were out there. I thought Bennett Christian had some great edge blocks. We were getting the edge. They were losing contain a lot, so it was a great job by our tight ends. G. Scott had that great catch to start the game off the right way. They do that little kind of that fake bubble where he fake blocks for a millisecond, then he runs past the guy and nobody covers him. And that was Chip Kelly, boy. You better watch out, because he is a bad boy. I mean, when he gets 10 days to scheme something up, man, you better watch out. Pooh Beard at 12, thank you for the 10. What a great win. JJ is really unfair, but not enough for the national media gives Howard the credit he deserves. And the D is so nasty despite our D line not being held at all, like ever. Nevada OH. We had 8 sacks and no holding calls, like per usual. Our guys have literally not, they've not thrown a flag on the offensive lines against us the entire season. That there's no way that's ever happened in the history of football. Not a single holding call. And our guys were getting held. I was watching it. But yeah, Nevada, are you surprised that Will Howard does not get more national media attention?
Well, he does get media attention, but it's always negative media attention. They always talk about how he's the problem, or he's the guy that blew it, or he's the weak spot on the offense. As for the holding stuff, I mean, go back and watch the last touchdown that Oregon scored to go to 21 when Jack is coming in, and the guy's literally like got his arm wrapped around his chest, pulling him back, and they call that, and then they call Kasmerick on a pancake block, where where again it's just the inconsistency in the application, the fact that we never get holding calls, and that's not hyperbole. We never get holding calls, like ever, and I don't know what we have to do it, but 8 sacks. I mean, you watch a lot of Ohio State football, Kirk, and how many? I mean, 8 sacks doesn't happen. I'm not saying we've never done that before, but that doesn't happen very often unless you're playing Eastern Tennessee Tech or something like that. 8 sacks against a top 5 opponent. It's crazy.
I mean, I think when we lost to Florida and everyone said they had I think they had 5 sacks, and the whole story was that they had the best pass rush of all time. And I was like, we had 8 today, and this is with a team that's got a fast quarterback that can run, and we were cage rushing too. I mean, we did it, so it wasn't just turning it loose and being reckless. It was, everything was sound. Our guys were just mollywhopping them up front, and Oregon's not a physical football team. They've never been a physical program, and they weren't today. And they've always been fast. But Evan Stewart was nowhere to be found. He turned it down. Tez was hurt. He turned it down. The running back tapped out early. So, hey, that's football, man. And again, our physicality really it carried the day today. And again, our physicality with JJ and our little misdirection stuff that we do is so good. Trying to get stuff to JJ and Emeka, and we just do a great job of spreading them off. But Trey, breaking that long 66-yard run early, that was huge. Taking the top off of it early was huge, and we scored the first minute of the game. So I don't know how often that happens on offense, but I don't think it's very. And I just, like I said, I'm just proud of these guys. Like I said, I just love Will Howard, man. I really do. I love how the kid carries himself. I love how he runs this offense, and I think Chip Kelly, when he's cooking, is impossible to go against. I mean, he really, especially with guys like JJ and Trey. I mean, my God, you run the whole offense through those 2 guys, and you don't really have a chance. And then you got Mecca. Mecca's a mock draft stuff. He was a top 15 pick, so he's your number 3 option in the offense, and he's an All-American. Should be an All-American. So. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just so happy for these guys right now, because this will be a nice, fun plane ride home. Long one, but a fun one. And then they got 10 days to get ready till next Friday and get ready to go do it again. This playoff is grueling, to say the least. Joe, thanks for the 20. Appreciate you, brother. Here we go. Anyone to still hire Dan Lanning and Will can't throw the deep ball? Those are 2 great ones about it. Hire Dan Lanning and Will Howard can't throw the deep ball. That's one of my favorite narratives of all time, that he can't throw the deep ball. We had 200 yards in the first quarter, but what are your thoughts on that one, Nevada?
Well, it was such a stupid take. I mean, it was just, it wasn't supported by anything. It wasn't supported statistically. It wasn't supported by anything other than people started saying it, and then dumb people started repeating it, and they would happen, and I'd be like, what are you guys talking about? And, well, he threw this one, and the guy decided, what, dude, he was diming it up tonight. I mean, he dropped that one right in the bucket on Emeka. Will he can make all the throws. I mean, Will can make all the throws, and when people say, well, he had this decision where he could have gone to this guy and he went to this guy. Dude, that's true about every quarterback that's ever played the game of football. Not every quarterback makes the perfect decision every time, but for some reason, Will Howard comes under scrutiny, even for stuff that he does well. Can we please send the Will can't throw the deep ball thing to the island of misfit toys, because that's a terrible take. It was always a terrible take. And if you were one of the people repeating that terrible take, you're dumb, and stop repeating the terrible take because it was dumb. And no more. I have no more time for dumbness.
Yeah, I mean he's that bolt on Mecca was one of the best bowls I've ever seen thrown. And Mecca is so smart because he doesn't show his hands until the very last second, catches it right here. He's out reaching for the ball, so the defender has no idea when the ball is coming, and he just drops it right in his hands. Like literally could not have been more of a hit him perfectly in stride right into the end zone. And I was like, yeah, I saw that one. I was like, it's gonna be a good day for the Bucs today when I saw that one hit. And I just like I said, I'm happy for these guys. Like I can't express how happy I am for this team. After what they went through after Michigan, they didn't get to win the Big Ten, blah blah blah, and now they're the Big Ten champions de facto. I put that on the rings. They just beat the undefeated Big Ten champions, so they are now the Big Ten champions. So Oregon can have their banner. We'll move it on. I appreciate you, Joe, but yeah, that was a great narrative to destroy today. Donald, Karen, Ross Beck. Hope you guys are having a great New Year. Appreciate you too. Thank you for the 10. Thank you for being entrepreneur as well. I want to apologize to Coach today. I was wrong and I'm very happy about it. I will not doubt him again. Nevada OH. That was pretty dark times for Ryan after that Michigan game, but it's part of it. And now he gets to go do it all over again, because that's the beauty about this playoff, man, is we get to go play the Texas Longhorns next and get to play them in Dallas. Of course, we don't get to play them in Ohio, so we're gonna go play them in Texas. So it's gonna be a tough road. But again, I've said, because again, I'm pragmatic about things. When people say we got to fire Ryan Day, I'm like, well, who are you going to hire? Mike Vrabel? No, he's not better than Ryan. Not at college, I mean, and Vrabes is out of work right now. Like, I mean, I know his consulting thing with the Browns is over, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see where he goes in the coaching cycle. But I like a quarterback developer. Like, if you say, Kirk, you are now the owner of an NFL team, what is the main trait that you want in your head coach? Quarterback developer. Give me Andy Reid. Give me Ryan Day. Give me guys that can develop a quarterback. Because if you have a quarterback, and again, Will Howard was good last year. He's incredible this year. And a lot of that is because of the development from Chip Kelly. Right? He's a much better player than he was at Kansas State. And again, that's because of coaching. That's not just magic, or they didn't throw pixie dust on him. He just, Ryan coaches quarterbacks very hard. It is not ice cream and peaches when you're getting coached by Ryan Day. It is very loud and it is very pointed. And and Chip Kelly is the same way, because again, you need your quarterback to be tough. You need to be on the same wavelength as him. And I'll tell you what, man, I love it. And again, and our guys they're following him. They follow Will Howard along, and like and again, this is why I love the transfer portal, because we got that kid. That kid is going to make the difference between us winning and losing. Because Kyle McCord couldn't have done this today. He couldn't run it. And guys didn't follow Kyle like they follow this guy. So that's really important. Nevada, your thoughts. Again, Donald and Karen, I appreciate you guys saying they want to apologize to Coach Day. They will never doubt him again. I don't know if I wouldn't use an absolute, because I'm not a Sith, but your thoughts on that?
Well, here's the thing. It's okay to question stuff or tactics or stuff, but man, let's all get on let's not doubt that we have a great young head coach. But it's okay. It's okay to question stuff or decisions. Like, frankly, I didn't like him punting 4th and 4 from the 35 when they punted into the end zone.
Terrible.
I didn't like that at all. I mean, but that's okay. We can have those types of discussions, but that's a big difference from let's fire Ryan Day and let's move on to the great unknown. Because, like, how's Alabama? Not that Alabama's, they didn't fire Saban, but Saban leaves. They get Kalen DeBoer, who's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and now they suck. Okay? USC goes out and gets, Lincoln Riley, who's the greatest thing since sliced bread, and he sucks also. So you just don't know what you're going to get. And with Ryan, man, Ryan can be great. He can be dynastically good here at Ohio State. He's had some really bad fortune, some really tough luck. And I know people don't like to hear that, but that's true. That Georgia game where we lost, there was just some really tough luck in that game. But he's learning and he's evolving and he's getting better. And right now he's got the 2 best coordinators again. I mean, Jim Knowles is another guy. Talk about a guy who's taken a lot of abuse. There is no defensive. There's no defensive coordinator in college football today that's better than Jim Knowles, and it's not close. It's not close, guys. And you want to fire him? Fire Knowles. Michigan still hasn't punted in the fourth. Dude, we've got a historically good. This might be the best defense in school history. It might be. And certainly in the modern era, it is. And I mean, I don't know what else they have to do to prove it, but yeah, it's great. But yeah, like I said, that we can question Ryan, we can debate decisions or whatever it is, but yeah, let's keep the faith that he's the right guy for the job, because he absolutely is.
PD Wheatstraw, thank you for the 10. Hope you're good, my friend. Dylan Gabriel received his Big Ten welcome package today. Yeah, he did. He did 8 sacks, and again, like I was on a team that was like this Oregon team that was undefeated, and everyone loved us and thought we were gonna march through everything, and we were number one and whatever, and we didn't play well, and Oregon didn't play well, and a lot of it's because of what Ohio State did. It wasn't like they just went out there, because I mean they didn't turn it over, so it wasn't like they just gave the game away. We took the game from them. But yeah, I mean it's he's finally done playing college football, which is great, and they're gonna have to go find whoever their next quarterback's gonna be in the portal. But I love I love the trajectory of Ohio State, man. Oh my god, the physicality, like Lathan Ransom was so good today. So was Tyler. I mean, there's a lot of guys that played really well, and again, a lot of credit to the guys that were rotating too, like Mitchell Melton, Caden Curry, Brad Jackson, Kenyatta. Those guys gave us some real minutes, and that was great. They did the guard thing again with Luke Montgomery and Sireveld and Teager all rotating through. So, I like it, man. Like I said, we had a lot of guys in the game. Physicals, the day is long. And like I say every show almost, I swear, like Tyleek's really good. People don't realize how good Tyleek is because he's a D tackle, but he's a force of nature on the inside. I mean, I think he'd be a first round pick easily. Nevada, your thoughts on that? Dylan Gabriel receiving his welcome package.
Yeah, no, look, I thought Dylan Gabriel played, I mean, as well as he can possibly play today. Certainly the loss isn't on him, but yeah, Ohio State just punished him. And we talked about that last week. We're like, you got to find a way to pressure him. And, Ohio State, to their credit, got creative with that first time around, didn't sack him one time. And then they rack up 8 today in the college football playoff quarterfinal. I mean, it doesn't get much more satisfying than that. But kudos to Jim Knowles and everybody on the defense, because they were outstanding.
Yeah, it was incredible what they were able to do. I mean, again, you don't see rematches in college very often. Obviously, it's going to happen a lot more now. But to go from 0 sacks to 8 sacks with the same players is incredible, and that's a credit to the players. It's a credit to the scheme. We were cooking these guys up front, and they looked like they were lost. They looked like they couldn't identify the blitzes. And a lot of it, honestly, if you go back and watch the sacks, a lot of them were just great effort. Jack Sawyer not quitting on a play, because Gabriel holds the ball forever, 10 seconds sometimes, 8 seconds. I mean, it's like forever. So our guys just kept pursuing. Caden Curry ran him down one time. And, those are the things that people don't see, is like, sometimes it's just an effort play because the coverage is so good. And that's a big credit to our back end. Sorry, Denzel was beaten to death, and I said the Burton Alston thing, so I'll eat crow on that. And again, I didn't think it was going to happen again, and these guys, I think they had like 144-yard completion, but other than that, I mean, these guys were under wraps for the entire day. And like I said,
Kirk,
good.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to remember there was one play that I wanted to ask you about, because this play didn't get any mention on the air. They didn't do anything. The announcers didn't mention it, and I just want to make sure I'm not seeing something. Were you watching the game closely? I mean, I don't, and that's. I'm not trying to be.
No, I know you're not trying to be. I know what you're trying to say, but pretty closely. But I mean, what play are you talking about?
There was the 3rd and 23 where after Jacket got a sack in the second half, and they threw it, and the guy got like 22 yards on the sideline, and he caught the ball. And then as he's catching the ball, he like loses control of the ball, and he's like bobbling it, going out of bounds, and they didn't even review it. And I'm like, how in the world do you not review that? I just don't understand it. And nobody said anything about it. And we'll have to, when we get the game tape, we'll have to do it. But I swear that I saw him as he catches the ball, and then the ball like shifts literally out of his hands, I think he catches in terms of doing it, but I didn't know if you noticed that because Tyler was here with me and he was screaming at the TV and I was as well. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch and remember that. But yeah, it was weird. It was like when they did that lateral play where Gabriel was in the open field and he chucked it forward, and they actually got that one though, which was great. They actually went and reviewed it for an illegal forward pass, and I don't know. I mean, I thought the officials were okay this game, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, just the lack of holding penalties and um, I don't know. I'd like to see Ohio State get a holding call just once before I die or whatever. Like, come on, like to go an entire season or whatever it's been without a holding call. I I I just don't. And Ryan should start working that too. He should start talking about that because if you talk about it all week, Ryan, Texas will get called for holding. You'll get a holding call. So if you're listening to my voice, Mark D'Antoni, run up to Ryan and go, Ryan, start working, start complaining about the lack of holding calls. You'll get one against Texas, and it may be pivotal.
Yeah, and that's how this stuff works, man. You gotta work those guys over a little bit, and I think that when we're looking at what these guys with as talented as our pass rushes are and as exotic as our blitzes are, there's going to be guys that need to hold to be able to keep up and keep guys clean. And I think that that's something that is shocking to me. And again, I don't think that's never happened in the history of football where you've had a team who's this good with this good of pass rushers never ever get a holding call. So yeah, it's bizarre. Patman Rocks, thanks for the 10. OSU's depth on both sides of the ball is incredible. From an ASU fan, I want y'all to barbecue Texas. Well, Arizona State played really hard today, and they were really impressive today, so they have nothing to be ashamed of. But yeah, our depth is amazing. I mean, we've lost 2 All-Americans on our offensive line, and we're playing just as good, if not better, which is crazy. So I don't know. I mean, like I said, I said it the last 2 weeks. This has a chance to be the best team in Ohio State history. And Michigan game be damned. I don't care. If you run this gauntlet and win a national title, that erases all the sins. And these guys honestly deserve, guys like Jack Sawyer, they deserve it. They deserve to win the Natty. Everyone's going to be scared of them. I mean, Texas, we ain't Arizona State now. I mean, Texas is going to play us, and we're physical, and Georgia knows that we're physical, and it's gonna be a crazy stretch leading into Friday. Nevada, your thoughts? OSU's depth on both sides of the ball is incredible. From an ASU fan, I want y'all to barbecue Texas. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no. First of all, thank you for the super chat, and yeah, Arizona State really showed out and shut up a lot of people. Represented and I mean, should have won the game. I mean, it's literally you got 4th and 13, and you give up even though they blitzed, and I love blitzing in that situation, and they just got caught and ended up losing. But that was a heck of a game. But no, I think the big thing for Texas is going to be Quinn's not moving around very well right now. I mean, he's no Dylan Gabriel in terms of moving, and the way that we're rushing the quarterback right now, and with him being a little bit more stationary in the pocket, I think Quinn's going to get killed next against us. I think that's the big difference is going to be his lack of mobility, and the fact that OSU pass rush is going to get home against them and really upset him. That's going to be the difference in the game, and Ohio State's going to move on to the national title game.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be interesting. And he's been hurt. I mean, that's the thing is he's taking some shots, so it's gonna be real interesting to see how if he can hang in there versus us. Arch is quicker, but Quinn won the game today, so it'll be the matchup we've been waiting for, baby. Quinn Ewers versus the Buckeyes, and then the crazy things we open with Texas next year. So 2 out of our next 2 games are going to be against Texas, or 2 out of our next 3 games are going to be against Texas. So that's weird, but is what it is. Tony, stop. Thank you for the 5. Best tackling I've seen in a long time. Vicious. Yeah, our DBs, man. Jordan Hancock was laying the wood out there. Cody Simon was fantastic. And people laughed at me like 4 years ago. I said that Cody Simon reminded me of AJ Hawk. And people laughed at me. And then people are dumb. I'm way smarter when it comes to evaluating guys than they are. But that's who. I mean, he had an AJ Hawk kind of stat line today. The sacks, tons of tackles, speed to burn, physical. Again, he's as good a linebacker as there is in the country to me. And he plays like he's physical as can be. He's a great leader, great captain. But he reminds me of AJ. He's not going to get drafted as high as AJ, but he's the kind of guy that should go in the second or third round of a draft. He'll test out of the world at the combine, and there's just no flaws in his game. There really aren't, because he's an excellent blitzer too, which is something that's huge. Nevada, your thoughts? Tony, again, I appreciate you, man. He says the best tackling that you've seen in a long time, and vicious. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was a completely dominant effort. They didn't miss many tackles. They were controlling it up front. But along that line, I want to point out, and again, I realize that we don't have a large sample size of rematch games because they just don't happen that often. But has there ever been a bigger transformation in a rematch game than Denzel Burke? I mean, Denzel Burke, that first game around, had one of the worst games that a defensive back at Ohio State's ever had. And then today, did they complete a pass against Denzel today? I mean, they might have, but I don't remember it. And his tackling was outstanding on top of that. So I mean, kudos to him, man. Talk about a guy that was about as low as you could possibly get after that first game, and to come back and pitch a shutout like he did, absolutely unbelievable. What a player! What a game by what a player, and no small reason why we won today was the play of Denzel Burke.
Yeah, I mean and again, there's a piece of him, and there's some anxiety of him that he doesn't want to have a kind of a redo of what happened, but he didn't. And again, that's the difference between a competitor and someone, frankly, who's scared. Is that when you're Denzel and you're these players, man, when you lose that game, you got to get up and go the next day. You got to get up and get ready for the next one. You don't get to sulk and be angry and be bitter and get rid of the players and get rid of the coaches and everything. You got to get ready to go, and you got to go to work, and give Denzel a ton of credit, man, because he went to work. And I mean, what a satisfying win for these guys, man. Oh my God. I can't even imagine that plane ride home is going to be amazing, because these kids, they deserve it. Like I said, and now 10 days to get ready for Texas. And yeah, I just happy for these guys, man. Really happy for these guys. Larry Daniels, 1, thank you for being awesome. Remember, thank you for the 5. If it takes a loss to the team of North to motivate the team and coaches and it propels us to natty, I'll take it every year. Here we go. This is, I don't know if we want to go that far, but I said it after the game. I mean, obviously it was a disaster and a nightmare to lose to Michigan, but I mean, they had one thing left, and they had a shot to get into the thing, run the table. They got that home playoff game, so they got to play that first home playoff game in the shoe, and yeah, and they're the hottest team in the country now by far. Just smashed the number 1 team in the country. Nobody's trying to see us right now. Texas, Georgia, doesn't matter. What are your thoughts, Nevada?
Well, yeah. So this is kind of a call out to the Ohio State fans, man. Got to show up to Jerry World in 10 days and represent. I mean, the Ohio State fans really showed. Clearly, the Tennessee game, where it was going to be Neyland North and they were going to take over. They had a lot of fans, but I complimented the Ohio State fans that were there because they were loud. And today at the Rose Bowl, again, Ohio State fans showed up in force and did their part. Well, now we got to do it one more time. This team's doing their thing, and yeah, I agree. I mean, look, if you really read the question, if it meant losing to Michigan but it propelled us to a natty every year, yeah, I would take that. I would take never beating Michigan again if we won every natty, or even won every 3 or 4 or 5 years, because we've won 3 natties in my entire lifetime, and they don't come along very often, and they may not happen this year, but man, what a run. I mean, this schedule that we played this year, I've never seen anything like it. Obviously, it was going to be different under the 12-team playoff, but I mean, Kirk, there's no Ohio State teams ever faced anything like the schedule that we played this year. Like nothing even remotely close. Like, I'm not even sure what second place would be.
I mean, I can't think of anything. And the thing is like, what's your reward for winning the Rose Bowl? Oh, you get to go play another top 5 team, and then you win that game. Now you're playing another top 5 team. So it's like, yeah, I mean, there's nothing like this. I mean, again, this is that's why I said this could be the greatest team to ever play at Ohio State. Because again, when you run this table, this gauntlet, I couldn't imagine having to get up for 4 games after the Michigan game. Like, the Michigan game is so exhausting and tiring. And then You got to go beat an SEC team, beat the number 1 team in the country. Now you got to play the number 2 team in the country, and then you got to go play the number 3 team in the country. So, like I said, we didn't dodge anybody on this little path. Like, we're not Penn State where we just cruise on in and play Boise State and teams like that. Like we had to run the table, and it's yeah. In the regular season, we had to play these guys. We had to play Indiana, top 5. Like it's Penn State at Penn State. Like it's Heisman level difficulty, like on the video game, is what it is. But yeah, and I'm with you. Like if we guaranteed a national championship to lose to Michigan, I'd be fine with losing Michigan every game forever. Because again, I've beaten Michigan 6 times, 4 times as a starter, 2 times as a coach, and I would trade it all for a national title. And that's what these guys have the chance to do. Sean, thank you for the 5. Only 2 things come from Texas, and Quinn looks like the latter. This team's here to conquer. Let's go. I know what those 2 things are. I'm not going to say because it's a family show, but I've watched Full Metal Jacket, so I know what you're talking about.
Officer and a gentleman.
Officer and a gentleman. That's right.
Yes.
I love. Yeah, I love it. We get to see our boy Quinn, and the storylines are going to be deep, baby. I cannot wait for this one. This is going to be it's going to be something. See our boy Quinny. Trestle Spectacles, thank you for the 5. The defense was hitting out there today, especially in the first half. Amazing effort all around today, Nevada OH. Well, I mean, and I said it a million times, but like, the team that lost had a big edge, and our guys played like they'd been humiliated and they'd been left for dead by our fan base, by not our whole fan base, but a chunk of them, a big chunk of them, very vocal chunk of them. And I got crazy text messages. We own a message board, so we have archives of all the craziness that happened after that game, after Michigan. And again, that's why like you guys tune in to listen to Nevada Nights, because we're even. Let's analyze what happened. Can it be fixed? And if it can't, how do we fix it? So that's how we kind of operate everything we do, because we don't just say, hey, burn the whole program down and fire everybody and get rid of everybody and do whatever. Like no, let's see, can it be fixed? It's like, oh, we're close. Like, I mean, I broke down that blitz on the one long touchdown that Denzel gave up. Like, the blitz that we called actually was really close to working, and it almost would have gotten him killed. Now we didn't get there, but we were close. It wasn't like it was no chance, we're toast, so I don't know. I love the direction of this team, and 31-0 to start the game. I mean, you couldn't dream of a better start than that. But yeah, what a night for the Bucs, man. I love it. Nevada, your thoughts on the defense hitting? Because our defense was spectacular tonight.
Yeah, they were laying the wood, man. They were violent. They were relentless. They were letting Jack and JT spin. They were spinning all over the place and using all the. We were telling them, like, hey, this guy's got great spin moves. And people were like, oh yeah, you guys are so you just love Jack. So yeah, prove it. And, they proved it tonight. So 8 sacks, man. Love it.
I loved it. Dontre Davis, thanks for the deuce. Michigan, can you see Ohio State now? Yeah, I mean, they're done, and nice season. They end up beating us in Alabama. That's great. But, we're playing for the big ring, and that's all that matters. Like, winning the national title is all that matters in college football. So 2 games away, baby. We're getting there. But yeah, I'm just excited for these boys. Madamus Prime Entertainment, thank you for the 5. Is it just me, or are we playing better on both sides of the ball than even in 2014? Yes, absolutely. We're better on both sides of the ball than in 2014. And it's not a ding to those guys. And I know that those guys won the Natty, but like defensively, it's not even close. And then offensively, I just think that we're so much more varied, because like, again, as great as Zeke was, I'm not trading him for Ezekiel. I'm not trading him for Quinshawn and Trey. I'd take Zeke over either of them, but Trey's not that far away from being Zeke. And if he has 2 more big games down the stretch, then we'll see. But the thing is, like, we didn't have the throwing game like we have here with JJ. And Mike Thomas was very good. Obviously, he was NFL, set the receptions record and all that, but he's not JJ. JJ's just a different animal. And Tom Herman was great. Chip Kelly's better. Nevada, your thoughts? Are we playing better? Again, Adams, I appreciate you, my man. Than we were in 2014 on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, 2014. We've gone over this before, but literally we averaged 100% more yards or points per game in 2014 than we are this year. 100%. So that's how much more dominant we are defensively, and offensively, Trey, that's the second week in a row where Trey's come up, the safeties come up on him, and he's just hit the afterburners and beat that guy to the corner. And when he got down the sideline, there was nobody going to catch that guy. I don't know if he's a first-round draft pick, but you said this a minute. I think it's one of the smartest things you've ever said. If Kansas City picks Trey with the 32nd pick or whatever it is in the first round, Kansas City may go on and win 3 more Super Bowls because I mean, if he's in the right offense, Trey Henderson could be a devastating NFL player. He's so freaking good.
Yeah, if Trey goes to a team, I mean, he'll be good on any team, but if he goes to the right team that uses him as a pass catcher as well, I think about like the Broncos with how Sean Payton used Alvin Kamara. I think that would be a perfect, like you said, Gibbs. He reminds me a lot of Gibbs too because of the speed. But yeah, like I said, I know everybody in the world devalues running backs. I don't. Look what Saquon did. Look what Saquon did with the Eagles. The Eagles finally got a real running back, and they're the best team in the NFL, or one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the NFL now. Derrick Henry. Look at what he's done. So Jahmyr Gibbs. Look at what he's done for Detroit. So you get the right running back, and Trey Henderson is just a different animal, and I'm just happy for him. Troop Dog, thanks for the deuce. Should the Browns draft Will Howard in the mid rounds? Yeah, I mean, I'd probably take him around round 5. I'd say 5 or 6. I mean, again, I think that he'll do really well at the combine. He'll interview really well. He's very bright. He's been coached up by Ryan, a pro style guy. And again, I've said before, and again, I know that people say he can't play in the league, but I'm like, do you guys watch NFL football and see how bad some of these guys are? I mean, 'cause it's horrific, some of the stuff that I have to watch. So yeah, I'm excited for his trajectory though, man, because he's got a bright couple of weeks left. And again, I don't want to be somber like Nevada, but it is kind of sad when you realize he's only got 2 weeks left, and then it's Gonzo. So, or 3 weeks left. The last game's on the 20th. So, your thoughts, Nevada? Should the Browns take Will Howard in the mid rounds?
Yeah, he won't be there. I mean, he won't get past the 3rd round. I mean, Will's really increased his draft. I've gotten a bunch of calls, and got a call from a national media guy that and that I know, that just like, there's no way he's gonna. He goes, I'm talking to NFL guys. There's no way he gets to the 3rd round. So I'm like, okay. He's been pretty right on quarterback stuff, and he'll be right on Will Howard, because Will's playing at a really high level right now, shutting up a lot of people.
Well, I mean, he's going to ascend, and he's red hot right now. So, short of an injury or them finding something in a physical, like, I just don't, like, again, I watch NFL quarterbacks every single week, and I'm just like, some of these guys are just so impossibly bad. I'm like, how can Will Howard not be better than these guys? Because he's a bright kid, and he's a guy that'll be in the league for 10, 15 years. He's a great backup, great teammate. He'll start. I think if he starts, I mean, again, he could do things. He's got the arm. He's got touch. He's got timing. He understands the game, and he's quick, so he can get away from pass rushers, which is huge, especially in that league. Michael Smith, thank you for the 5. Happy New Year, Nevada. I'm sure Finland was or is easy on the eyes. This is going to be the ultimate revenge tour. Nevada, how is the glorious country that you're currently in?
It was snowing like big time today. Like, and it apparently doesn't snow a lot during this time of the year, but like, it was like really, really snowing. But it's only the only day it's supposed to snow during our trip here. But it was a winter wonderland, and Nevada was driving the Volkswagen Golf around the thing and sliding all over Finland. So the population of Finland's only like 5 million, but I almost reduced it by a bunch today with Nevadabuck driving in the snowstorm. So that was pretty hectic.
The Nevada snow. I like it. Jared Henniger, thank you for the 5. Great statement win. Best part was we got out healthy without any significant injuries. ESPN can now start the Oregon was overrated chatter. That's coming, Nevada. Is that the most predictable thing of all time? Is that Oregon maybe wasn't really that good?
Yeah, well, this won't count as a big win. Here's what I get. This didn't count as a big win. Will didn't really throw it well because he just threw passes, and guys had big yards after the catch. The defense gave up some score. I mean, like you could denigrate this any way you want to, but man, we just beat the number 1 team, the only undefeated team in Division I football. We beat them 42-21 and humiliated them. We're up 34-0 on them at one point. It just doesn't get any better than that. And like I said, I will not stop smiling. Honestly, no matter even no matter what happens against Texas, and I think I'm telling you right now, I think Texas is in for a long day because we are the hot team. We're the hottest team. They're not playing well, and we're playing really well. And Quinn's hobbled, and he's not moving. Quinn usually can move around pretty well. He's not moving around, and if you're immobile against Ohio State, you're in trouble. And I think Quinn's going to be in trouble. And I'm calling it right now. I think Texas is in for a long day.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Because they did not look too hot versus Arizona State. You hit that right on the nose. They looked average. I mean, that was a game they should have lost, I thought. But
Well, they
here
didn't. They didn't look great. They didn't look great the first week against Clemson. I mean, Clemson scored a ton of points. They're not playing great football right now.
No, they're not. But yeah, ESPN will say they're right. That's the most obvious thing of all time. Poohbeard 12, thank you for the 5. Thanks for being in Ultra Room as well. Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station. That's what it feels like when JJ's out there. I mean, when we're running some of these plays and he's getting scot-free, and we run our little play to G Scott on the first drive, second drive where they run the little fake bubble and G's wide open. Like, I don't know. We do a lot of we've been doing a lot of the counter stuff. We got. I thought Quinshon was better today than he'd been. He looked more decisive. He looked explosive. Trey's been outstanding all year, but Quinshon I thought was better today. Our perimeter guys are blocking, and our interior guys blocked well. Again, you're playing 55s on every first round mock draft for Oregon, and Mateo had 10 sacks, and Birch was Birch, and he's a big, strong guy, not a fast guy. And we shut them all down. So kudos. And major kudos to Donnie Jackson, because Donnie's really playing well at left tackle, which is something that, we projected that, and you've said many times you think he's a better tackle than guard, and I agree with you. I watch him, and he's really settling in there nice and pass blocking well. And he's 6'4", so he's not your ideal tackle height, but he was a good tackle in high school. So it wasn't like a huge move for him to move back out there. Especially when the first week he had to play against, the kid from 11 from Penn State, who's the best defensive player in the country, I think. All right. Yeah, I appreciate you, Pooh Bear. Thanks for being on here for that, my dude. Expedition Greg with the win. The Buckeyes passed the team at North with most Rose Bowl wins at 10. That's second only to USC at 25. Did not know that. Did you know that, Nevada?
I didn't. I knew that USC had a ton of wins. I did not realize it was 25. I knew that we were going past them with it. But yeah, USC has won a lot of Rose Bowls. But who's got it better than us? No, nobody. My USC fans, they're ready to kill themselves right now. They're like, oh my gosh, we're Ohio State fans. Like, we want to fire our head coach. They would give anything to have our head coach. It's just so funny how we live in these parallel universes of differences.
Well, look at Alabama. I mean, they were the juggernaut forever, and now look at them. I mean, they lose to Michigan, man, and it's just like, whew. I mean, it's gonna be a warm time in Tuscaloosa. It'll be interesting to see who hits the portal from there. And again, the other thing is like, there's guys that we've lost, and all the 5-star offensive linemen that they recruited, they stink. They're terrible. They look fat too. I mean, I was watching them, and Michigan's guys were beating them down pretty good. I'm gonna rewatch that game, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see if any of those guys portal out, because there's gonna be some dysfunction now that Saint Nick is gone. They're partying like it's 2006 again, because like I always say, when I played in the early 2000s, nobody cared about Alabama. They were still Bear Bryant back then. Nobody cared. Obviously Nick Saban was fantastic, but I don't know. It's you better enjoy it, and I mean that. Like, if you're an Ohio State fan, you better enjoy it, because again, it's like they went from being the biggest dynasty in the history of college sports to losing to Michigan in a bowl game that no one's ever heard of. So yeah, good times. Daryl Mosby, thank you for the 20. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope you are having a great New Year. Happy New Year, fellows. Ryan Williams looking to transfer to OSU. I love it. Start fast, finish strong, leave no doubt. Love the show and all you do for the military and first responder community. I appreciate that. I won the lottery. I got you. Nevada OH. Yeah, I mean, you always kind of remember, especially during holidays and New Year's and with the terrorist event that happened in New Orleans. Like, hey, there's people that got to go running towards that stuff. When there's a guy who's deranged and he's committing an act of terror when he drives the truck down Bourbon Street and kills a bunch of people. Like, there are people that have to save us, and again, that's why we always are thankful to our first responders, our police officers, um, our military folk that are deployed, they're away from their families right now. We don't take that for granted. And again, and we mean that when we say that. My father-in-law, who I love to death, Tony Telsmanic, he is a decorated Navy guy. So he's a great guy for Christmas because you buy him Navy stuff and it's like a great gift every year. So Navy workout clothes is usually a good bet for Tony T. But yeah, we mean that. And Nevada's was an Army brat or Air Force brat and was all over the globe as a young globe-trotting Nevadabuck, and he's back all over the globe. Nevada, your thoughts? I don't think Ryan Williams is really looking to transfer to Ohio State. I don't think we need him, frankly. You can only have one alpha in that room. We've already got ours. He says, Daryl says, love the show and all you do for the military and first responder community. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, like I said, it's the Pay It Forward program has been the most gratifying thing that I've done since I've been in the message board stuff, and to be able to talk to, and I feel like I virtually meet all these new members, and being able to share the Buckeye Scoop and Ohio State fan experience with them is great. But it's all because generosity of the listeners. So we appreciate you guys, and we appreciate our first responders. Because like you said, man, they got to run to the guns, and I'd be running away and I'd be hiding, and those guys got to turn and run towards it, and I don't know how they do it. So God bless them. You are on mute, Mr. Barton.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. RK, thanks for the deuce. Any concern that we only scored 7 in the second half? Not really, because I think that we would just want to get out of here with a win. Obviously, you wanted to stop him, and Jelani was in. I've actually seen Jelani on a field goal. I got the rewatch on right now, but he was on field goal, but he was not on the regular offense. It doesn't look like, but so he was there. It looks like there's 15. But yeah, I don't have any concerns when you score how we started the game. Can't be upset about that. You just can't. Your thoughts, Nevada?
Yeah, I mean, we scored 34 in the first half. I mean, the enemy in the second half had nothing to do with Oregon's defense, and it was strictly the clock. The entire game was the clock in the second half, and trying to get to a certain point where they just lacked. And when we needed to score too, what do? We went right down the field and scored a touchdown. So, do I have any concerns? Absolutely zero. I thought Ryan played that perfectly. Frankly, I didn't like that one pass that he threw on the 3rd and 9 when we were up 21 late. Just run it. You just run it and run the clock out and do your thing. But no, it was that was strictly a function of where we were in the game, and had nothing to do with Oregon figuring anything out. We went to a necessity of being conservative, and sometimes it's a good time to do it, and that was a good time to do it.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I thought that Ryan was great in the second half, and you're right. When you're up by that much, you just want to grind that clock, because they're not going to shut us out in the second half, and we're going to burn the clock, and barring just catastrophes, like they have no shot at coming back. So you want to tighten it up. I don't want to say a total vanilla, but get the guys healthy and get on to the next, because this playoff's a beast. It is an absolute beast. Gabe Gaines, thanks for the deuce. He says, what a game. OH, Nevada.
I
love it. What a great night. What a great night. Gio did it. Thanks for the 5. I appreciate you, man. You could tell by the look on Dan Lanning's face during the first quarter, he knew he had no shot at beating us. He looked defeated early. I noticed that too. I mean, they panned it to him, and he wasn't diligent. I was kind of surprised he had a red pen, because the first game I remember he had a blue pen, and he always puts 2 pens in his shirt, and I think someone forgot to tell him to not use the blue pen this week, but he always has like a red pen and a different color pen like stuck in his shirt. It looks like his little thing, and he had a red one this week, and it didn't turn out good for him. So hopefully he'll not do that again. But Nevada, your thoughts when you saw them pan to Dan Lanning? Could you notice his concern?
Well, he quit. I mean, look, even when they scored that last touchdown at the end of the first half, 34, they were trying to run the clock out. They there was a minute and 20. He let it run down to like 47 seconds, but they threw that pass and they got lucky and came down and scored. But he punted on 4th and 4 when they're down 3 scores. I couldn't believe how quickly Lanning tapped out of the game. He wanted nothing to do with that. He wanted to get out of there. And I was shocked, frankly, that he made some of the decisions.
The locker room switch over with the transfer portal. You got to make sure that you can get these guys ready to go. So, but I'm just really excited about this this week versus Texas, man. It's going to be incredible. Nevada, your thoughts? Emperor Zeus believes that Will Howard looks like Peyton Manning with his size. Pro team should rethink who they should draft. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I think the teams could do a lot worse than. I mean, I see the quarterbacks that are winning in the NFL, and I think he's got all the attributes, and he's got every intangible that you'd like, and he's so articulate, such a great leader. Like I said, I'm just sad that we only get 2 more games of him because I truly love that kid. He's just such a great kid, such a great representative of the university, and I only hope for good things for him in the future because he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he's got but again, like you look at Brock Purdy and what he did. I mean, that's a comp. I mean, Brock Purdy's going to make $300 million on his next deal. So, you got to go to the right spot. And that's not just for Will Howard. That's for any quarterback, because quarterbacks get drafted by the Cleveland Browns usually end up dying, and then they end up going elsewhere and doing well. So, yeah, if you go to the right place with the right coach, look at Caleb Williams. I mean, defensive coach, which I hated. Offensive coordinator's atrocious, and he's just been an abject disaster as a rookie this year. The guy that was the number 1 overall pick, the can't miss Caleb Williams, has been terrible. Jared A. Brandon, thanks for the 100. Thank you for being an ultra member. Appreciate you, man. Happy New Year's. You guys called it 1974 when we tied the Chiefs at North and won the Rose Bowl 42-21. This time, won and not done. I have a comment rather than a question. Do not break your plans to go to bowl games just because of the terrorists. Stay resilient and enjoy your freedom. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that you can't live in fear. And again, I think that's it's sad. And there's the truck that got blown up in front of the Trump Tower in Vegas, and then there's this thing in New Orleans, and people got to be vigilant. But don't be scared. We've got great people that are working on behalf of the government, and don't be scared to leave your house, because then they win. Nevada, your thoughts again. Jared Brandon, thanks for the 100, brother. I appreciate you, and happy New Year to you, and thank you for being on here all the time, and thank you for being an ultra member. He says that we called it, which we did. I appreciate that. And 74 was when we tied the Chiefs at North and won the Rose Bowl. Do you remember that game, Nevada?
I do remember that game. That was a great game by Corny Green, and him dancing into the end zone there with those high white socks and doing that little shuffle and stuff like that. So yeah, I remember that. Young Nevadabuck was very happy that day.
Dion Jackson, thank you for the vibe. Thank you for being an ultra member as well. Appreciate you, my man. This Ohio State team is unstoppable. No one wants to see us playing like this. That's a fact. Natty incoming, Nevada OH. Yeah, I mean, when you think about our stretch that we've been on since the Michigan game, with what we've picked up in the transfer portal, with beating Tennessee, obviously beating Oregon, it's incredible. I mean, this has been a tremendous run for us, and I don't think we're done. And it'll be interesting to see if any of these guys from Bama and some of these other schools jump on the portal, and if we go shopping for some more players, because again, this team's going to be good for a really long time. So I'm excited about that, and I appreciate you, Dion. I hope you are having a great New Year. Brennan Shelley, thank you for the 10. I appreciate you, my man. This Ohio State team is shooting on all cylinders. Where the heck was this team all year? I think we took the game much more personally, and I love it. Well, I think that we were, we had some injury issues, and we didn't play well in a couple games, but that's kind of just football to me. Like, we didn't play great versus Nebraska, but we were able to, get the win and fight it out and whatever. But they're not robots, but I know that they had an edge to them in this game. And frankly, I think this is a team that just doesn't want to stop playing together, because again, you got to remember, when you lose a game now, this part of the season, you're done. Like you don't, this team will never play together ever again. And that's a very sobering thought because for a guy like Jack and JT that came in together and they've been like brothers for years, and for a lot of these guys, like they don't ever want to not play, but it's there's not much sand left in the hourglass, and we just got a little bit of a replenish because we won today, so we get another week with the boys. So I don't know. I think that I think that after you lose, there's a lot of reflection and there's a lot of conversations and things that change, and losing is not always bad. And I know people think that's crazy to say, but if you lose at the right time and you can change some things before it's too late, then I think you have a chance to go on a run like this. Because again, we went from 0 sacks to 8 sacks, and we also, we didn't fumble this one. We did, they had, and we said this leading into the game. They had the surprise onside they recovered. Quinshawn fumbled it, put it right in Harmon's. Like, we didn't turn it over at all today. Now, neither did they, but we also had 8 sacks. They had negative rushing yards today, minus 26 yards rushing. Think about how good that is. That's incredible. Nevada, your thoughts? Again, I appreciate you, Brennan. He says, "Where's this Ohio State team at all year?" And he says he thinks that we took this game personally, which we absolutely did. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think, look, defensively, it took a change in philosophy. There was a change in philosophy after that first Oregon game. And that's why we always talk about looking for the good in any bad situation. And the good in that bad situation was the defense. They went to a more pressure package, and we saw they went from 0 sacks to 8 sacks. It can't be a bigger change than what that happened. And offensively, they laid an egg. They've had some problems on the offensive line, some injuries, but so what? They laid an egg against Michigan. So what they do? They revamped the offense. They went to a much, much more aggressive pass first. We are passing first now to set up the run, as opposed to the other way around, and it's working spectacularly well against two really good. Tennessee was a really good defense. Oregon was supposedly a good defense, even though I didn't think they were good. And we're hitting all on all cylinders. And the idea was for this team to peak at this time, and you can't be peaking anywhere. Nobody's playing better than Ohio State, and it's really not even close. So I love where we're sitting, and yeah, Texas. Texas is happy to have a game at Jerry World and playing, but the last team they want to be playing right now is Ohio State because we're playing really, really well.
I agree. Brutus B. Buckeye, thank you for the 5. Thank you for being ultra member as well. Go Buckeyes. Thank you, Coach Jay. Just talk about what a turnaround the O-line has made in the playoff. Nevada OH. Well, I talk about the offensive line, and it's been remarkable that Luke Montgomery's been rolling in there, playing a bunch, and they've had this kind of 3-year guard rotation. Carson Hinsman has been a godsend for this program. Played well again today, and he's a guy that I don't even think he played against Oregon the first game. He didn't. He was just trying to make sure I'm not blanking, but he really played with a lot of fervor. Played really hard, and I thought that he stepped in and really had a nice day. I think that Donnie has been one of the most unselfish players in school history by moving out to left tackle. This is his draft year, and it's risky to switch positions. It's risky to move from, like, if I was playing in 2006 and they said, "Kirk, we need you to move into guard instead of playing tackle," like, I wouldn't have liked it. If we had a really good tackle behind me that could come off the bench and I felt like we'd be good, I would have tried it, but I wouldn't have done it as seamlessly. I think it's easier to go from guard to tackle than it is tackle to guard. And I think that Donnie's been fantastic, but it's a lot of it's Justin Fry. This room's grown, and a lot of it's, and even more, it's Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's scheme puts their guys in good situations. Will Howard gets rid of the ball. It's all a symphony. It's like you got to have the O-line can block, but if the quarterback holds onto the ball and gets killed, then nobody's feeling too hot if you're giving up sacks and pressures and whatever else. But we get rid of it, and our receivers, they win. Our receivers win on the edge, and that helps the offensive line because when they get open, they're getting the ball quick because Will Howard's got a quick processor and he gets the where it needs to go. Nevada, your thoughts? Brutus Buckeye, he says, talk about what a turnaround the O-line has made in the playoffs. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, just scheme, forever scheme. You can, Chip Kelly schemed up some great plays. He used to run up and down the field with offenses that didn't have anybody near as good as Ohio State's got on the offensive line. So when he's going, they can do it. And all the credit in the world to Justin Fry and those other guys as well, because they take a lot of crap. And I always say, you are what your record says you are. And the offensive line, we're down to player number 9 now on the offensive line, and we're dominating up front. These are 2 back-to-back games where we pretty much could have lamed our score in either one of them, and that doesn't happen by accident. So kudos to Coach Fry and the entire offensive staff.
Josh Dillon, appreciate you, my dude. Thanks for being on here as always. I love the Kucherov Stanley Cup photo. Thank you for the 10. He says, I was almost spot on with the score again, 1 point off. I called it 42-21. Not scared at all of Texas, calling it here first, 38-13. Ohio State wins the Cotton Bowl. Nevada OH, go Bolts and go Bucks. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I'm telling you, Quinn Ewers' immobility and in Texas defense, it's not a great defensive unit, and it's a defense that's been, they've been pushed around a lot lately, and but the way that the Ohio State offense is going right now, we can just beat you so many different ways. You've got the ultimate Marmaduke there in JJ. We can just go down the list of all the guys that can be, the 2-headed running back, tandem. Like I said, I just think that for Texas, I think this is a bad matchup for Texas, and I think their one chance to win this game would have been if Quinn was really mobile, and I think I'll predict it right now, we will see Arch Manning in this game, and not in an insignificant role, just because I don't think Quinn's going to finish the game. And I like Quinn. I like Quinn. I'm not rooting for anything bad to happen to Quinn, but I think something bad's going to happen to Quinn in that game, and I don't think he'll finish the game.
Gabe Gaines, thank you for the 5. Where does Texas rank in terms of offensive and defensive lines we've played this year? Well, they're the best offensive line that we've seen for sure. Their left tackle is going to be a top 10 pick. He won the Outland and the Lombardi, I believe. I mean, he won 2 of the big trophies, unanimous All-American. But they're fallible. I mean, Arizona State was giving them all they could handle today, and their guys aren't as good as ours. So they're good, but our guys are playing physical, and I'd put our guys up against any of these guys. And I think our scheme is excellent. I think it's going to wear these guys out. So, Nevada, where do you think the Texas's offensive and defensive lines rank compared to what we've seen this year?
I mean, they're good. Like you said, they're good. They're good on. You don't get to this point in the season and not be good unless you're Penn State and just get put up against some patsies by the stupid college football playoff committee. But no, they're a good unit up front. They'll be a good test. But I just think we're better. I think we're better, and I think we're just hot, man. We're playing at such a we're playing well on all 3 phases of the game right now, and I mean, they're just little thing, but then not that it matters from week to week or whatever. But like you said, their kicker completely laid an egg in the thing, and our guy drills 2. I don't know if they're clutch field goals, but they certainly kept the game from being close. And yeah, I love the matchup. I think it's going to be a great celebration of college football, and I think Ohio State's going to win big.
Yeah, I agree. I do too. It's going to be interesting. I'm going to watch some Texas film tonight, kind of get my mind right for these guys. Trestle Spectacles, thanks for the 5. Tyleek reminds me of a bigger Warren Sapp, and he will be missed next season. I don't know if he's Warren, and Warren's probably the best ever, top 2 or 3 to ever do it. But Tyleek's a bigger guy, 340, but he's twitchy like Sapp was. He's not the pass rusher Warren Sapp was. I'm just gonna be honest, but he's a run stuffer, and he's violent, and he gets off blocks, and they're rotating him, which they need to, because he gets tired because he's that big. But he's a force, man. He's a really good player, and love watching what he does. And like I said, we were all over these guys in the game. So yeah, he's boogieing along and doing his thing. So, but what are your thoughts on Tyleek, Nevada?
Well, I mean, I thought Tyleek was great when he was a true freshman, and it's just been fun watching his maturation, the rap on him early on in his career is that he just didn't have the motor, didn't have the conditioning, and he's really applied himself in that way, and he's just a dominant interior defensive player. But you said earlier in the show about the depth, and one of my big complaints about playing depth all year has been it's great to play guys, but they have to, when you put them in there, they have to play, they have to do something. Well, they did something tonight. They were great. I thought the backups were great tonight. I thought Kenyatta was great, and I've been on him. I don't think Kenyatta's had a great year, but I thought he was great tonight. And Caden Curry came out with another sack. Frankly, Dylan Gabriel's lucky he didn't get killed on that one because he was going to blindside him. And even Hero Canoe had a tackle. I mean, no, just a great effort all the way around. But Tyleek is the war daddy on the inside. They don't make him like that. And he was absolutely spectacular today, and going to make a lot of money in the NFL.
Yeah. Leaderboard Customs, thank you for the 5. 12-2 now. 2 playoff wins, and the players' helmet stickers looking like it's early November. Go Bucks. Yeah, they're tough, man. I don't think we have any guys that have both sides fill up like Doss used to. Doss used to get both sides done, but Caleb Dowd's getting close. But a lot of the guys have to play on special teams to get a lot of Buckeye stickers. That's kind of the secret. That's why you see a lot of linebackers and safeties that have more stickers than anybody's, because they play more groups. They're on the punt team, punt return, kickoff return, field goal block, and those are ways you can harvest a few more Buckeye leaves. But yeah, we should fill our helmets up. So I like when we've got the full helmets. David Penterick was up, my man. Thank you for the 20. Thanks for being an awesome member. Did you see Caden Curry's sack? He was smart about it. He wrapped Gabriel up versus a kill shot. The team played smart tonight. Yeah. Caden Curry really shows up when he gets out there, and I think he needs to play more. But you're right. It's hard now because the quickest way to take the air out of the balloon is to get a sack that would have been legal 10 or 15 years ago, and then all of a sudden it's not legal because you land on the guy, the weight of him, which is an NFL penalty. It's not a college penalty, but we got blamed for that or called for that. So, yeah, I noticed that, David. That is very astute of you. But yeah, Caden is a really good player, and he'll have a really good senior year next year. It's crazy. He's already a senior. It's wild. Lossless. Thank you for the 5. Ohio State versus Oregon Cinderella season, led by an Aloha State native in the playoffs 2-0. There are levels to this. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, we still have 2 more left, and I can't imagine the excitement that these guys have to get ready to play the Texas Longhorns. And the good thing is like with their iPads, is they can start watching Texas film tonight, which is what I'd be doing. I'd be trying to watch that Arizona State game as quickly as I could and start digesting it and seeing it a little bit. So, but I appreciate you, Lossless. Thanks for the 5. Kevin McQuaid, thank you for the 5. To the day haters, sit down and shut up. Was Burke even targeted once? 1 not done. Go Buckeyes. Nevada. Your thoughts? I'm sure Denzel was probably targeted, but I don't know. They got eaten alive offensively, and I will say they have a lot of punks on their team too. That's one thing I noticed. They're a chippy, talkative bunch. I'm talking about Oregon, so it feels good to send those guys to basketball season. Nevada, your thoughts? Was Denzel targeted even once?
I don't know if he was, which again is amazing considering how historically difficult the first game was for him. And like I said, I really think he pitched a shutout. And yeah, Oregon's like that nouveau riche guy, you know what I'm saying, that gets out there and they think they've won something, and they never really won anything, but they do like to talk a lot. But as an earlier poster said, there are levels to this, and Ohio State kind of sent them back to the cornfield, and that's a beautiful thing.
Iowa Buck, thank you for the 5. Buckeye fan for life, good or bad. It makes these moments feel so good to shut haters up. 2 more. Bucks over Texas by 13. Yeah, it does feel good to shut them up. And some of it's our own fan. I mean, because again, you got to understand there's a miserable portion of our fan base that roots for us to lose, so they can say, I told you so. So to shut them up for another week is also amazing because they're
the signs were there. The signs were there, Kirk. The signs were there. I saw. I told you. I told you something was going to happen.
I told you. I knew it. I knew that we were
I
going to
knew it.
lose. I knew it.
I
I was
knew
like,
it.
what? I was like, why? And people say that to me. I was like, why don't you bet? You can put your house on it then. If you're so cocky, you're so confident. It's like, you don't know. Most of them have no clue. But we knew this was going to be. And again, all you got to do is like use your eyes. Like we watched that. I watched that Penn State game that they played the Victor, and their secondary is getting torched. And I'm talking about letting guys run free, and that's in the Big Ten title game. And I was like, and Penn State's guys can't run with our guys. Are you crazy? Excuse me, but it's just like, oh my god. Sergio Sama, thanks for the deuce belt to ass. I love that one. That's I think Zach said that too. But it's a good day. Matt Patel, thanks for the deuce. AJ and McAfee on ESPN2 was a way better than ESPN. It really is. I love listening to AJ. McAfee could be a clown. Like, I mean, he's obviously done spectacular things, but he's a superstar. But a lot of it is just too much for me. Like, I mean, and again, I'm all about being funny and stuff, but like when you're just overtly a clown all the time, and again, that's his shtick. I mean, you can't. He's laughing all the way to the bank, which is great. But I love AJ. They are the true odd couple of media, if there ever was one. But AJ's really good on there. I wish that he was on there a little bit more. Nevada, your thoughts on AJ and McAfee on ESPN2? Do you watch the regular broadcast or the Skycast, or what'd you end up watching?
Well, I watched the ESPN2 one just because the other game was going going on longer, so they started it on the ESPN2. So I started watching it and actually enjoyed it. But I agree with you, McAfee's a clown. McAfee just tries too hard.
Yes,
And
that's exactly it.
He just needs to. I mean, just try. Because I like him. Like, he's great. You've won, Pat. You've made gajillion dollars. You've won the game. But you don't have to be a clown all the time. And he's hard to listen to.
Yeah, I agree. A Willis, thank you for the 5. Not to nitpick, but I get a bad feeling that these low steps might come back to haunt us. Why haven't they fixed something that seems simple? Well, they work on it. I'm sure they work on it, and it's something that it's simple to do. But again, in the game, when your hand gets sweaty or glove gets sweaty or whatever, it can happen, especially when you're blocking a first-round pick. So there's no excuse for it, and it's something I'm sure that drives those guys nuts. And for centers, they used to get graded down tremendously when they have a bad snap. They get not a missed assignment, they get a poor technique right off the bat. Didn't matter what their block was. So it was hard to be a good center when we did the grading, because a bad snap's an automatic minus. So I don't know. It's something that Carson's got to work on, but we're running out of time. So hopefully they get that fixed. But I'm totally with you. Got to get it fixed before it can hurt us. Jim, what is up, brother? Jim Jackson, thanks for the 5. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve. What a great win. Game plan execution was spot on. How do our coaches keep the momentum going? Nevada OH. You got 18 days for the rest of your lives. I mean, not even that. You've got 9 days for the rest of your life. You've got New Year's Day is today, and you play on the 10th. And I mean, what would you give to be champions forever, basically? And win the big ring, because you got a shot to do that, and you don't get shots like this every year. I mean, we see how many times that it slips through the cracks for us, and how many we've lost and whatever, and you got to cash it in. And this team's hot, and this team's good, and this team's got an extra couple of days to scheme Texas and stuff. So I'm sure that they've graded the tape, and I'm sure that they're flying home, probably getting some shut-eye, but I'm sure they're breaking down Texas's Arizona State game, because there's a lot of holes on that Texas team that we can exploit. So that's how they keep it going. Appreciate you, Jim, and I hope you and your wife had a great New Year's. Schaefer Healthcare, thanks for the 20. Looks like the line opened at OSU minus 4.5 and then went to 6.5 on many books. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that we could pull off a win? It will be a hostile road environment. So proud of our boys, Nevada OH. How confident are you, Nevada? Scale 1 to 10.
Pretty confident. I mean, I'm as confident. I'm not as confident as I was in the Oregon game, just because I knew we were going to be in Oregon. I mean, like, I loaded the wagon against Oregon. There was no way they were winning that game. I'm really confident against Texas, and I think it's going to be a hostile environment. But Ohio State's getting half the tickets, and they'll show up. I mean, Ohio State's got a tremendous fan base down in Texas, and Ohio State fans will show up. I don't have any doubt about that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be a packed house, and It'll be exciting. David Grant, thank you for the 5. The best thing about this game is I didn't see one injury that I know of. Nice to be healthy. Go Bucks. Yeah, that's critical in a playoff, man. I mean, you got to stay healthy, and Lady Luck was not on Oregon's side because they lost their running back and their receivers are hurt, and so I say you got to play the games. Again, like we lost Ted Ginn on the first play of the Florida game, and that didn't help. That didn't make us look too hot. So you got to play the games. Mark Pollitt, thank you for the 10. I appreciate you, and thanks for being ultra as well. Nevada State in Finland. It brought us good luck this week. Don't jinx us by coming back till we win the Natty. Nevada, how is Finland going so far?
My daughter started and they beat Czechoslovakia tonight, so it was good. So but I'm here for 13 days, man. So it's a long trip.
That's a long time to be in.
That's a
Finland.
long time. Oh, it's a long time to be in Finland. So, but yeah, I'm going to take it one day at a time. But today was a really good day.
Today's a good start to it. Brennan Shelley, are you sure we can't get Quinn back after he embarrassed Texas next week? Quinn's gone. He's going to the league. But, yeah. He would look great in this offense, though. I'll tell you. But Will Howard's, I don't know how he could do much better than Will Howard's doing, honestly. Will's been absolutely incredible. And, but I appreciate you, Brennan. I hope you're having a great night. Matt Patel, thank you for the 5. Can we pin Pooh Beard 12's Death Sister Super Chat to the top of the screen for this season? That line is pure gold. Yes, Pooh Beard is one of the funniest, if not the funniest super chatter on here. So, yeah, him dropping some Star Wars knowledge was absolutely great. A fully functional Death Star, but kind of what we are now. I mean, you see how we're cranking, and it's fun to watch. Yeah, Pooh Beard, you're the best, dude. I appreciate you, my dude. Aaron Jacobs, thank you for the 5. Did you see that Will Howard wasn't let on the stage for the awards presentation because he was late getting there from doing an interview? Lame. I was wondering why he wasn't up there. I think he eventually let him up there, but I mean, he's a quarterback. Like, how does he not get put up on the Rose Bowl podium? It was especially when he played that well, but I don't know. I mean, that might be a little harsh. I mean, he's got the number 18 jersey on and he's played an incredible game. So, yeah, but I'm sure he'll survive. I swear to God, I saw him up there throwing the roses, though, so I think he got up there eventually. Francis Plum, thank you for the deuce. The significance of the Texas in Dallas. It'll be pretty heavy, I think. There's going to be a lot of, obviously, Texas fans in Dallas, and but our fans will travel, and we'll get half the tickets, and it'll be fun. And then we get to see him again, like August 30th. So it's going to be like one of the weirdest things ever when, the loser of that game is going to play back-to-back games against the other. So that'll be very interesting. So, Nevada, your thoughts? But I think we'll have a pretty even crowd, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, especially the way this team's playing. And again, if you're an Ohio State fan and you have a chance to go to that game, go. I mean, what a great experience. And Jerry World's a great place to do it. Kirk and I have shared a game there. Jerry World saw a national championship. And it's a great place to go see a football game. And I know the Ohio State fans will show up.
It's a beautiful stadium. It's really cool. And we've done really well there. Done really well there. I mean, we beat TCU, USC. We've had a lot of luck in Dallas, so we got to obviously won the national championship. So yeah, it's gonna be really good. All right, Nicholas Wing, thanks for the deuce. 0 holding calls for the Ohio State's opponents since week 4. That is really weird, Nevada. Your thoughts on that?
Well, just it's really weird, especially like we talked about earlier. But I'm sure when you're going through your game review, watch that last touchdown pass by Oregon to, on the path, the deep shot against Davison, and Jack's coming up the middle, and the guy's just got his arms draped around him. And like, I just don't know how you miss that because it's right out there in the middle. It's right where everything's there, and they just don't call it. So it's absolutely infuriating.
Yeah, it's hilarious. All right, we got them all, Nevada, and I know that you're probably tired because what time is it? Like 5 a.m. there right now.
It's 5:12, and the funny thing is I'm so excited that I'm sure at some point today I'm going to absolutely collapse in a heap.
You're going to hit the wall.
And they're going to drag me into the sauna and just like throw me down to the ground. But right now, man, I could go for another 12 hours. I'm so excited.
Do you want to?
No, I don't. Because I got to get some sleep. I'm gonna call. I gotta call all my kids. All my kids have been texting me. They want to talk about the game, so I got to call
Yeah.
them and talk to them and do stuff. But I'm so excited. So
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing the show, Kirk. And this was a great one.
It was a good
Raise the
one, man.
roof.
Good
Raise the
day
roof.
for the Buckeyes. Raise the roof and raise the Jerry World dome. It'll be perfect. All
Yes,
right.
indeed.
Let's wrap this thing up. Again, I appreciate you guys. Great night for the Buckeyes. As we roll towards Texas, it's going to be on the 10th, so it's coming in about 8-9 days, and we're going to get ready to roll. So again, I appreciate you guys so much for all that you guys do. If you guys enjoy our content, please leave us a like, click subscribe, also click that little alert bell. Again, we appreciate you guys being a part of everything that we do, and helping us grow this thing into what it has become. So with that being said, thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. Thank you, Scoop family. You do something huge for us. Give us a quick subscription on Apple Music. Just click on Apple Podcasts, type in Buckeye Scoop, and click subscribe. That'd be huge for us as we rock into the new year. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much, Buckeye Nation. Thank you, Scoop family. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. It'll be about 7 o'clock. Go Bucks.